Zdravím všechny nadšené studenty angličtiny. Dneska vás vítám u prvního dílu English Storytimes, protože já jsem se vás ptala na Instagramu, nebo takhle, já jsem na Instagram občas přidávám storíčka v angličtině a vždycky hrozně z vás se ozve, že chcete, aby jsem mluvila v angličtině častěji, že mi jako dobře rozumíte, že se aspoň procvičíte poslech, dá se říct. No a já jsem si říkala, tyjo, tak proč ne, proč bych vám tady třeba občas v angličtině nepopovídala něco o sobě na základě toho, co vás bude zajímat. Dala jsem vám anketku a přišlo mi hrozně moc nápadů, typu právě jakože moje oblíbená dovolená, můj nejlepší, nejhorší zážitek z roku 2021, nějaký životní milníky, jak jsem založila ten projekt, proč jsem si pořídila pejska, kde žiju, jak jsem se naučila anglicky, jak se udržuju motivovaná. A nebo třeba, jak jsem poznala svýho manžela a vzhledem k tomu, že nejvíc z vás zajímal právě ten příběh, jak jsem potkala manžela, což se vám nedivím, protože já jsem taky taková drbna trošku, takže taky ráda vždycky poslouchám tyhle ty příběhy, tak jsem se rozhodla, že dnešní podcast vám tak jenom, řekněme, v 10 minutkách, doufám, povím příběh o tom, maximálně v 10 minutkách, povím příběh o tom, jak jsem se poznala s manželem, jak se tak nějak vyvíjel náš vztah až po teď. Takže bude to celý v angličtině, rozhodně tomu dejte šanci, i pokud nebudete rozumět každému slovíčku, který použiju, tak se snažte porozumět hlavní myšlence, protože pointa vůbec není v tom, abyste rozuměli všemu, ale abyste si postupně zvykali na to, že prostě v angličtině posloucháte. Takže I think it's time to get started, so let's go ahead and let's talk about, let's say, the way and the story of how I got to know and how I met my husband. So the first time we have ever seen each other was in December 2019, and it was during a Christmas party. To be honest, I don't remember seeing my husband there. His name is František, so I'm gonna use his name. Actually, I was it's difficult to say famous, or I'm not sure if it's really accurate to say famous, but I was quite popular, we could say, in the big group of friends that we used to have. We actually used to do business together, but we didn't really know each other. He remembers the first time he met me, which was in December 2019, but I remember the first time when I actually let's say, paid attention to him, when I found out that he existed, was in, I would say, March 2020. The funny thing is that before I noticed that he had actually lived or existed was, let's say, after we went to London together. It wasn't like literally going to London together, like in a couple, but we were there with a group of friends. I guess there was like 20 of us, so it wasn't, let's say, difficult to overlook somebody completely, but it's still kind of strange that I didn't even notice him there. I noticed him after that trip when we were in Prague, when we had our typical Super Saturday, which was like a conference of self-development, we could say, and he had a presentation there about London, and he was pretty enthusiastic about it. He was funny, he was laughing hard, he was clearly an extroverted person, and from that moment I remembered him pretty well. In our, let's say, group of friends, or I don't even know how to call it. It was a group of friends, but we weren't really close. We weren't close friends. We were just friends who would hang out with each other, and we would basically only study like self-development and mindset together. And we used to have a lot of Zoom calls on various topics. Let's say I, for example, had Zoom calls about English because I'm an expert in teaching, and he, my husband František, had Zoom calls about relationships because he has always been very keen on studying, let's say, how, relationships between women and men work. And he spent a lot of time studying these relationships from experts, from videos, from books, from audiobooks, and he has a pretty deep knowledge of, let's say, what a good relationship should be and stuff like that. And since he has a lot of knowledge when it comes to relationships, he used to have a lot of webinars about it. And of course, like girls, if there are girls listening to me right now, tell me if you are the same, but I love it when somebody is speaking about relationships. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite topics, and especially when a man is talking about relationships, like, oh my god, I'm listening. And I used to love to go to his presentations, and I listened to him talking about how relationships should be. He used to talk about the feminine versus the what's the word? Male energy? Masculine, that's the word. He used to speak about the difference between masculine and feminine energy, how to, let's say, keep passion in a relationship, and how to be a good husband, how to be a good wife, how to even meet the right person, how to know that it's the right person, and stuff like that. And I remember telling myself, oh gosh, I wish I had a man like him. It's the funny thing that, yeah, for me it's crazy to think that I used to watch his Zoom call and I used to tell myself, I wish I had a man like him. And 1 year later, or no, it's more, 2 years later, I'm here, his wife, and it's not even a man like him, it's literally him, the person that used to speak about the relationship, and that I use, and the person whose presentations and webinars I used to listen to. It's crazy. Another funny thing is that we weren't really interested in each other. Like, as I said, we knew that we existed, but we never really talked to each other, and we have actually been to a lot of, oh, there's my puppy, Lizzie, leave me alone, leave me, Lizzie, sorry for the interruption. She just wants me to pay her attention. Anyway, what I was talking about, yeah, that we actually went to a lot of interesting events together. For example, we went to a jumping arena with our friends, of course, or we went for dinners and for trips and all of that. But we never really started talking to each other, even though we existed. Like, I don't know, it's difficult to describe it, but it's just as if we were completely blind towards each other for some reason. And it's even funny to now look back at some of the photos I have in my phone when we weren't talking really, but we are in the same photo. And the, let's say, breakthrough in our relationship happened in December 2021, or I could say January 2022, but no, not 22. 22 is now. What's the year? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Now it's 2022. Yes. So in January 2021, or in December 2020. Oh my gosh, what's the year? It's 2022. Tell me it is. I'm so sorry, I have to check it now, but jaký je rok? Oh no. I can't even Google it. I have never had such a blackout. Yes, it's 2022. That means that in 2021, so in December 2020, sorry for that, we went to, let's say, winter cottage together, again with our group of friends, and we were staying in Krkonoše, and we had, I don't know, I would say somehow something like a get-together. I'm sorry for the sound noise. Yeah, like just a casual get-together. We wanted to spend the New Year's Eve together, and we would watch movies, we would talk, we would play games, we would drink, we would smoke shisha, and all that fun stuff. And it wasn't until the 1st of January we actually started talking finally. And because he always presented himself as the relationship master, or, well, he didn't present himself like that, but all of us considered him to be the relationship master, the guru, we could say. So I went to him for an advice, because in my past relationships I always had the problem that I was the man in the relationship. I couldn't be the woman, and I thought that I had a problem with my feminine energy, and I thought that I was in my masculine energy. And he was laughing pretty hard, and he said that I'm definitely not in my masculine energy. It's not that I would be masculine, it's that I was just choosing, let's say, feminine males. If you know what I mean, you definitely know a man that it's more in his feminine energy than in his masculine energy. And I was kind of lucky to always, or lucky in quotes, quote unquote lucky, to find a man who was in his feminine energy. And we had a pretty deep talk about relationship, and he was speaking so highly of me. He told me that I really need a special man that would deserve my qualities. And yeah, it was definitely nice to listen to that. And actually, it's even crazy to think now that he was basically talking about himself without even knowing it. He promised that he didn't have any, let's say, intention to become my boyfriend or anything at that time, at that night even, but the things, let's say, turned out a different way. And during that evening, it was the 1st of January 2021, we continued our deep talk. We went for a walk, and during the walk, we kinda, let's say, in that moment, we just knew that we might be good partners. So I'm not really sure if I want to share all the intimate information about how the evening unraveled. I'm not gonna share that information, but I can guess you can figure it out yourselves. Anyway, after that night, we started kind of hanging out. And then later in February, we told each other that we could be a boyfriend and a girlfriend. So we made it official in February 2021. And we really had really difficult and terrible beginnings, because I was, and I still kind of am, a workaholic. And he is, well, he's not workaholic, but he has a lot of work because he has started his own business. He started it actually in May, so he's still pretty early on it, and therefore he is very busy, and I am very busy. So because I used to live in Pilsen, and he still lives in Prague, we used to kind of do a long distance. We would see each other only, let's say, every other weekend if we were lucky, and it was also only for, let's say, a day or so. So I felt like we were living a long distance relationship, and it's very, very difficult to do that. And I really admire all the people who can, let's say, have a long distance relationship for long term. I feel like it's almost impossible. But anyway, in February, we went to Spain. It was so magical because he just called me. He told me, what are you doing on what are you doing the last weekend of February? It was January at that time. And I told him, well, I don't know. And he said, well, in that case, pack your bags and we're flying somewhere. And I didn't know where we were flying, but it was like the thing I have always dreamt about. I have always dreamt about having a boyfriend who would just tell me, pack your bags and we're leaving for an adventure. So he really did that. I felt like a princess. It was amazing. By the way, I have a whole podcast about our holiday in Spain, in Malaga, so definitely go ahead and check it out. It's in Czech actually, but it's pretty funny because we had a lot of fuck-ups on the way. And like in that moment, when we were in Spain, I just knew he was the man I was gonna marry. We were perfect since the very beginning, and I have never experienced something like that. I was just pretty sure that I'm gonna marry this guy one day. I didn't know that it was gonna happen that soon, as it did eventually, but I knew that one day it will happen anyways, like this is for life now. And after coming back from Spain, as I said, it was pretty difficult because the COVID, the restrictions, and they closed the districts even for some time, and then he started the business, so we didn't even have the weekends together. And yeah, we went on a few short, let's say, holidays together. We, of course, saw each other every other weekend for at least a few hours, but it still wasn't enough. I felt like I wasn't living my life when I was without him. And I don't want to say that my life started to have a purpose only when I got together with František. That's not true. But when you love somebody and you truly miss them on a daily basis, it really gets difficult to be happy when you are without them. So that was my case. And in October, we went to Budapest. That was actually my birthday present for František. And in Budapest, which was an amazing holiday, an amazing city, and I loved every second, every part of the holiday. So in a spa, we just randomly, spontaneously decided to start living together in Prague. So in that moment, we said that we were gonna find a flat and we were gonna move to that flat. That was a huge, let's say, step for our relationship, a huge milestone, and I was so happy that I was not gonna have to suffer any longer, and that I would finally get to, let's say, spend every night next to him in the bed. If even if we were like super busy, we would still meet each other in the bed, and in the morning at least. Yeah, it's like, it's better than nothing. And I was so excited. And yeah, I'm constantly saying "and," sorry, because I'm still constantly thinking in my head like what happened then, and I don't want to leave out an important information. Anyway, so sorry for that. Okay, so now I was gonna say "and" I'm not gonna. I'm sorry. When we flew back to Prague, I wasn't definitely expecting anything. I wasn't expecting a proposal whatsoever. Let's say, we used to speak about getting married, about marriage, about our future life together, but I would never really think that it was on the table already. I thought that that's like a thing for the future, and that let's say it's not gonna happen until, I don't know, until we have been together for 3 years or so. So that's why I was so surprised when we came back from Budapest to his flat in Prague, and he proposed me. He asked me to be his wife. I always thought that when one day somebody proposes to me, I thought that I will kind of expect it. But in that moment, yeah, I was caught completely off guard. It was like out of the blue, and he was there with a ring. So of course I said yes. I was so happy. It's actually one of my, maybe it's my complete, like my favorite memory of all. And in that moment I became his fiancé, and we committed to spend the rest of the life together. And because we are also Christians, we believe in God. So we had 2 weddings already. The first wedding was on the 16th of December, which was mainly a spiritual wedding, when we basically made the commitment in front of the God. And on the 15th of January, we had the official wedding in the town hall, which was only for our families. I only had my parents and my uncle there. And František had only his mom and his stepbrother basically there. And we are planning a third, let's say, wedding, I could say, but it's only gonna be like a celebration of our wedding for our friends, because we haven't had a chance to celebrate it with our friends yet, so that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, it wasn't 10 minutes, it wasn't a 10-minute long podcast, it is a 20-minute long podcast, so I'm sorry for maybe not getting straight to the point, but I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I'm definitely gonna continue with these English story times if you have enjoyed it. So definitely let me know on my Instagram, Výuka online, or on my email, and let me know also what is the English story time that you want to listen to next, and I'm gonna be really happy to record it for you. So have an amazing day, and talk to you soon.